Chosen one, if you're hearing this message right now, it's not by accident. You were led here for a reason. God has seen the tears you cried when no one was watching. He's seen you stay strong when your heart was breaking. And now heaven is whispering this truth to your spirit. Your time of unexpected blessings has begun. There's a spiritual stirring happening around you. It may not be visible yet, but in the unseen, God is rearranging things in your favor. The very doors that were slammed shut in your face are being unlocked in secret. The people who doubted you will soon witness how God raises the ones he chose in silence. You've been in the background long enough. Now it's your turn. But here's what makes this moment so powerful. These blessings will not come in ways you expect. They won't arrive through the people you thought would help you. They won't follow your plans or your timing. They will arrive suddenly, quietly, powerfully. Because when God moves, he doesn't need permission, he needs your faith. So take this as confirmation. That storm you barely survived wasn't meant to destroy you. It was designed to position you. That heartbreak you didn't understand. It was the breaking that prepared you for abundance. God never allows pain without purpose, and the very things that made you cry will soon make you grateful. But here's the key. You must stay ready. You must keep your heart open. Unexpected blessings come when you least expect them. And if you're too focused on what went wrong, you might miss what's going right. So if your spirit is saying, "This message is for me," don't scroll past it. Type 333 in the comments right now as your declaration of faith, your way of saying, "I'm ready for what God has for me." Because 333 represents alignment, body, mind, and spirit in divine agreement with heaven's plan. And as you do, help this message reach more hearts that need it. We're on a journey to reach 20,000 believers, a family of chosen souls, walking together in faith. If this word touched you, consider pressing that super thanks to support the mission. Every small act of love helps this light shine brighter. Chosen one, this is your moment. Stay tuned, because in the next moments, you'll understand exactly how God is about to bless you in ways you never saw coming. Chosen one, have you noticed how quiet it's been lately? The prayers you whispered feel like they went unanswered. The dreams that once burned so bright now seem distant, like they're fading away in the silence. It's in this very stillness that many start to wonder, did God forget about me? But what you don't see yet is that the silence isn't punishment, it's preparation. When God is about to bless you in a way that shifts your entire life, he first brings you into a season of stillness. The noise around you begins to fade. People start disappearing. Opportunities dry up. The path ahead becomes unclear. You try everything. You pray. You push. You cry. And still, nothing seems to move. That's when the enemy whispers, "See, you're forgotten." But he's lying. Because in heaven's timing, silence is never empty. It's sacred. Think about the seed buried deep in the soil. It's hidden, pressed under dirt, surrounded by darkness. But in that darkness, it's transforming. Roots are growing. Strength is being built. The seed doesn't see the light yet, but it's preparing for the moment when it will break through the surface. That's you, chosen one. You've been buried not to die, but to grow. This is the part most people don't understand. God hides you before he reveals you. He separates you so he can strengthen you. You might feel invisible, but heaven is watching closely. Every tear, every prayer, every moment you chose faith over fear, it's being recorded. The silence is where your spiritual muscles are built, because when the blessing arrives, you'll need the strength to carry it. So if life feels painfully still right now, don't mistake it for God's absence. He's not ignoring you. He's fine-tuning your future. The silence is his way of shifting things that must move before your blessing arrives. Sometimes he removes people who can't go where you're headed. Sometimes he delays things that aren't ready yet. And sometimes he's simply preparing you to handle the very miracle you prayed for. Chosen one, hear this clearly. You are not stuck. You're being positioned. You are not forgotten. You're being prepared for something far greater than you imagine. The silence isn't the end of your story. It's the calm before your divine breakthrough. Stay still. Stay faithful. Because this quiet season is proof that something powerful is about to break loose in your life. Chosen one, you've been asking God for a breakthrough, but what if I told you it's already on the way, just not in the form you imagined? The truth is, God rarely takes the path we think he will. He doesn't move according to our plans or logic. He moves according to purpose, and when that purpose unfolds, it often looks nothing like what we expected. You might have prayed for a promotion, and instead you lost your job. You might have asked God to fix a relationship, and instead it ended. You might have hoped for stability, and suddenly everything around you fell apart. It's confusing, even painful. But here's the mystery. The same event that feels like rejection may actually be divine redirection. God doesn't always bless you by adding things to your life. Sometimes he blesses you by removing what's holding you back. He'll close the door you were desperate to walk through, not because he's cruel, but because there's danger behind it that you can't see. He'll let people walk away because their presence would block the blessing. He's preparing for you. And when you start to see his no as a form of protection, you'll begin to understand his love. The chosen ones often walk the strangest roads. You've probably noticed that your journey doesn't look like anyone else's, while others seem to rise easily. You've had to fight for every inch. You've faced betrayals, setbacks, and moments where everything seemed unfair. But every detour has been divine. God's route is never random. It's strategic. He's been leading you through unfamiliar paths to build something inside you that can't be shaken. Every disappointment trained your discernment. Every heartbreak taught you strength. Every delay taught you patience. And when your blessing finally arrives, you'll realize it came through those very experiences, not around them. Chosen one, remember this. The path to your promise won't look perfect. It might look messy. It might even look like failure. But God is the kind of Father who writes victory stories out of what others call defeat. So if your life feels out of order, take heart. Heaven is still in control. Soon you'll look back and say, now I understand why that had to happen. Because what once felt like a setback will reveal itself as the setup for the blessing you never saw coming. The path may be unexpected, but it's leading straight to your destiny. Chosen one, before every major blessing there are always signs. You may not notice them at first because they don't look like blessings. They look like confusion, separation, and change. But when God is about to move, the atmosphere around your life starts to shift. What was once comfortable begins to feel heavy. What used to make sense suddenly feels off. You can't explain it. You just know something is different. One of the first signs is divine separation. People you once felt connected to begin to drift away. Conversations feel forced. Relationships fall apart without warning. It hurts, but deep inside, you sense peace about their absence. That's because God is removing distractions and draining out the noise before he pours in your blessing. Not everyone can go where you're going, and heaven knows who will block your next season. So when people leave, don't chase them. Thank God for the protection disguised as rejection. The second sign is divine disruption. Things that once worked smoothly suddenly stop working. Doors you thought would open are now closed. You might face delays, setbacks, or unexpected detours. But these are not random. They're divine redirections. God is shifting your path so you end up exactly where you need to be. Not where you planned, but where you're called. Remember, closed doors are not curses. They're reroutes to destiny. Another sign is spiritual restlessness. You start to feel like you don't belong in your old life anymore. You crave change, even if you don't know what's next. That stirring in your spirit is heaven's way of saying, get ready. It's a sign that your spirit has already moved into the next chapter, and your surroundings are about to catch up. Then comes the unexpected peace. Even when things look uncertain, you feel calm. You can't explain it, but deep down, you know something good is coming. That peace is not ordinary. It's confirmation that the storm is ending and the blessing is near. It's the kind of peace that says, I don't have to see it to believe it. Chosen one, these shifts aren't coincidences. They're heaven's way of preparing your path. The isolation, the endings, the delays, they're all signs that something powerful is on its way to you. God is rearranging everything in your favor, even when it looks like chaos. You're not losing, you're being aligned. You're not being punished, you're being positioned. So if your life feels unsettled right now, don't panic. You're standing in the final stretch before your breakthrough. The shaking is not to scare you, it's to signal you. Because after this storm comes the blessing you never expected, but always needed. And when it arrives, you'll know it was God, because no one else could have made it happen the way He did. Chosen one, before God blesses your circumstances, He first transforms your spirit. This is the part most people overlook. They want the miracle without the molding, the reward without the refinement. But God works from the inside out. When your heart shifts, your reality follows. That's why right before the blessing, you start to feel something changing deep within you. Even if nothing around you has changed yet, you begin to sense it quietly. The things that once entertained you no longer satisfy you. The people you used to chase no longer interest you. The drama, the noise, the endless distractions, they all lose their grip. You start craving peace, purpose, and solitude. That's not a coincidence. That's the spiritual shift, the invisible transformation that happens when your soul aligns with God's timing. In this stage, your prayers start sounding different. You stop asking, "Why me?" and start saying, "Show me." You no longer beg for answers. You begin to seek understanding. And while the world sees stillness, heaven sees strength. God is renewing your mind, healing your heart, and rebuilding your faith from the ground up. He's teaching you to trust without evidence, to believe even when nothing makes sense. But this shift isn't always comfortable. You might feel alone, disconnected, even misunderstood. You'll notice that people can't relate to your peace or your silence anymore. That's because when you're being elevated, you outgrow certain energies. You start to see life differently, not through fear, but through faith. You begin to release control and surrender everything into God's hands. And once you do, He starts to move things that were stuck for years. Chosen one, your spirit is awakening. That constant restlessness you feel isn't anxiety, it's expansion. Your old self can't contain the blessing that's coming, so God is stretching you to handle it. He's strengthening your patience, sharpening your discernment, and softening your heart. You're learning to respond with wisdom, not emotion. You're learning to stand firm in faith, not in frustration. And here's the beautiful part. Once this inner shift happens, the outer blessings follow naturally. The right people appear, the right opportunities unfold, the closed doors reopen, but this time you walk through them with clarity and strength. Because now you're no longer chasing the blessing, you've become ready for it. So if you feel a deep transformation within you, don't fight it. That's God reshaping your soul to match the magnitude of what's coming. You're not losing yourself, you're meeting the new version of you that was hidden beneath all the pain. And when this shift is complete, your blessing will not just meet you, it will recognize you. Chosen one of the hardest lessons you'll ever learn on your journey is this. God's timing is not your timing. You may think you're ready for the blessing now, but heaven knows the exact moment when your spirit, your surroundings, and your destiny all align. And until that moment comes, God will make you wait. Not because He's punishing you, but because He's protecting what's coming. You see, we live in a world that worships speed. We want everything fast. Fast answers, fast success, fast change. But God doesn't rush. He builds. He prepares. And when He blesses, He does it so deeply that no force on earth can undo it. His blessings are not temporary. They are eternal. So while you're asking when, God is saying, trust me, because He sees the full picture, every detail you can't yet understand. Sometimes God delays your blessing because you're still holding on to something that doesn't belong in your next season. Other times, the delay is for the people connected to your destiny. He's aligning their steps with yours. You may think nothing is happening, but behind the scenes, heaven is weaving together miracles that require time to mature. If God gave you the blessing too early, it might crush you instead of lift you. Think about Joseph. He was given a dream of greatness, But it took years of betrayal, slavery, and prison before he saw the promise fulfilled. Why? Because the dream was real. But Joseph needed time to grow into the kind of man who could handle it. And the same is true for you. The delay isn't denial, it's development. When God says wait, He's not saying no, He's saying not yet. He's saying, I'm still arranging something you can't see. So while you wait, don't waste the waiting. Grow in faith. Strengthen your discipline. Learn the lessons this season is trying to teach you. Because the moment your preparation meets His timing, the blessing will unfold effortlessly. Chosen one, your blessing is not late. It's right on schedule. God doesn't operate by clocks or calendars. He operates by purpose. And when your appointed time arrives, what once felt impossible will suddenly fall into place. Doors will open that no man can shut. Opportunities will find you without you chasing them. So breathe. Trust. Let go of the timeline you created in your head. Because when God finally moves, it will happen so suddenly that you'll forget how long you waited. And you'll say, now I understand. It was worth every second. Chosen one, when God decides to bless you, He rarely uses the people or paths you expect. He moves in ways that leave you speechless, ways that remind you only heaven could have orchestrated it. You may have been waiting for help from someone specific, counting on that opportunity, that job, that connection. But then, when it doesn't work out, you feel disappointed. Yet later, out of nowhere, a door opens from a place you never looked. That's how God works. He surprises His chosen ones. God delights in doing the unexpected. Why? Because when it happens in an unpredictable way, no one else can take the credit. You'll know it wasn't luck. It wasn't coincidence. It was divine intervention. That's why your blessings don't come from the people you expected to support you. Sometimes they come from strangers, from a random encounter, from a mistake that turned into a miracle. God loves to show His power through surprise. Maybe you've been praying for financial help, but instead of money, God gives you wisdom to create it. Maybe you've been asking for healing, and instead of instant relief, He sends a person who helps you grow stronger every day. Or maybe you've been praying for love, and the right person appears when you stopped searching. That's the beauty of unexpected blessings. They come wrapped in ways your mind could never plan. You see, when God blesses His chosen ones, He uses everything, the pain, the delays, even the betrayals. That closed door, it pushed you toward the one that mattered. That person who left, they made room for someone better. That loss you cried over, it created space for something divine. Every event, even the painful ones, becomes a tool in God's hands. And here's the part that builds both fear and awe. These blessings often show up at your lowest point. Just when you think nothing good can come from your situation, heaven flips it in your favor. You'll wake up one morning, check your phone, open your email, meet someone by chance, and realize this was it. This was the moment everything changed. Chosen one, stop trying to predict how God will bless you. You'll only limit His creativity. Instead, stay open. Expect Him to move in ways beyond your imagination. The more impossible it looks, the more likely it is that God is about to do something extraordinary. So keep your heart ready, because the blessing that's coming won't follow your logic. It won't make sense at first, but when it unfolds, you'll feel it, the peace, the joy, the confirmation. You'll know deep in your spirit, only God could have done this. Your story is about to turn, in ways you never saw coming, because your unexpected blessing is already in motion. Chosen one, before every major blessing, there is always a final test. It's the moment when everything seems to fall apart right before it falls into place. It's the storm that hits hardest right before the sky clears. And if you're facing that right now, if life feels unbearable, if you're being tested in every direction, it's not the end. It's confirmation that your breakthrough is near. This test often shows up when you're tired, when you've already done everything right, prayed, waited, obeyed, and still nothing changes. That's because the final test isn't about your situation. It's about your faith. God is asking, will you trust me even when you can't trace me? He wants to see if you'll hold on to his promise when there's no proof in sight. You'll notice that right before your blessing, resistance intensifies. People may turn against you. Finances might tighten. You might even question your own purpose. That's because the enemy senses what's coming. And he'll do everything to distract, discourage, or destroy your peace. But here's what the enemy always forgets. You are chosen. And when a chosen one is tested, it only strengthens what God already placed inside them. Every delay, every disappointment, every betrayal in this season has a reason. God is using it to refine your spirit, to teach you endurance. You're learning how to stand when everything in you wants to give up. You're learning to rely on God, not on your strength. Because when the blessing arrives, it won't just elevate your life, it will reveal your maturity. You'll handle success with grace because you survived struggle with faith. This test will also expose who's truly for you. Some people will disappear, others will show their true colors. Don't chase anyone who walks away in this season. Their exit is divine. God is making room for new connections, people who are assigned to your purpose, not your pain. And when you finally reach the edge of your breaking point, when you say, "I can't do this anymore," that's when heaven leans in and whispers, "Now you're ready." Because surrender is the doorway to blessing. When you stop fighting for control and let God take over, that's when miracles begin. Chosen one, don't fail this test. It's not designed to destroy you, it's designed to reveal you. The pressure you feel is proof that something powerful is about to be birthed. Keep standing. Keep believing. Because on the other side of this test lies the blessing you never expected, the one that will make every tear, every prayer, and every battle worth it. Chosen one, now that you've been tested, refined, and prepared, this is your time to walk in expectation. This is where faith turns into motion. You've cried your tears, endured the silence, survived the test. Now, God is asking you to lift your head and start living as if the blessing has already been delivered. Because faith isn't just believing God can do it, it's knowing He will. When you start walking in expectation, everything about you changes. You wake up differently. You stop dreading the day and start anticipating it. You move through life with quiet confidence, not because everything is perfect, but because you know you're walking with divine favor. That's the energy heaven responds to. God blesses those who expect Him to move. You see, most people pray and then return to doubt, but chosen ones, they pray, believe, and prepare. They make room for what they've asked for. If you're praying for increase, start clearing space in your life for it. If you're believing for new beginnings, stop revisiting what ended. When you act like the blessing is already yours, you send a message to heaven that your faith is ready for fulfillment. But walking in expectation isn't always easy. The enemy will still whisper lies. He'll tell you nothing's changing, that it's foolish to hope, that you've waited too long. That's when you must silence those thoughts and remind yourself, God is still working even when I can't see it. Remember, expectation is spiritual warfare. Every time you choose faith over fear, heaven moves in your favor. This is also the season to speak life. Your words carry power. Stop saying, "I hope something good happens," and start declaring, "Something good is already on its way." Speak as if it's done, because in the spiritual realm it already is. You don't need to see evidence. Your faith is the evidence. And here's what will surprise you. Once you shift your energy, doors begin to open naturally. The right people appear. Opportunities align. You'll start to notice small blessings unfolding daily, like clues leading you toward the bigger miracle. That's how you know you're walking in expectation. You begin to feel heaven's rhythm in your everyday life. Chosen one, this is the posture that unlocks miracles. Stop waiting for proof before you celebrate. Celebrate now. Praise now. Thank God now. Because your gratitude in advance is the seed for your breakthrough. Walk with your head high, your spirit calm, and your heart ready. What you've been waiting for isn't far. It's approaching fast, guided by divine timing. So keep your hands open and your faith alive. The same God who brought you through the storm is the one about to place the blessing in your hands. Expect it, Prepare for it. Receive it. Because your faith has already created the future you're about to step into. Chosen one, pause for a moment and breathe. You've walked through the storm. You've endured the silence. You've trusted when everything around you said, "Give up." But here you are, still standing, still believing, still chosen. That alone is proof that God has not forgotten you. And now you are standing at the edge of the blessing you've been praying for. Every delay, every tear, every sleepless night, none of it was wasted. Heaven saw it all. The pain that broke you was actually shaping you. The waiting that tested your patience was strengthening your faith. The loneliness that hurt your heart was protecting your purpose. Everything you went through was preparation for this moment. You've been stretched, purified, and refined. Now you're ready to receive. Before your blessing manifests, God always seals it with a word, and this is yours. The wait is over. It may not appear instantly, but the shift has already happened in the unseen. Heaven's order has been released. The blessing is set in motion, and soon it will find you in ways you never expected. So now, I want you to declare this out loud with faith. I am ready for the blessings God has prepared for me. I am open, I am faithful, and I am chosen. Say it again, not as a wish, but as truth. Let your spirit believe it before your eyes see it, because when you speak it, you activate it. The energy of faith attracts the movement of heaven. Chosen one, it's your time to rise. The same God who carried you through the wilderness is now leading you into your promised land. Don't doubt the journey that brought you here. Every twist, every trial was necessary to reveal your strength and your purpose. Now walk in gratitude, walk in peace, walk with the quiet confidence of someone who knows that their blessing has already been stamped with their name. If this word reached your heart, if it confirmed what you already felt in your spirit, type 333 in the comments as your declaration of faith. Let it be a sign to heaven that you're ready. Let it be your amen to what God is about to do. And to every believer walking this journey together, thank you for being part of this family of faith. We're on the path to reaching 20,000 strong souls, and your support, your prayers, and your super thanks make it possible to spread these divine messages to others who need them. Chosen one, unexpected blessings are coming your way. Stay faithful, stay prepared, because when they arrive, you'll realize it wasn't sudden at all. It was simply your appointed time. Your name is already on what's coming. Receive it, believe it, and never forget, you are chosen.